All right, guys. We are live again. Third Eye Truth Theorem Podcast, episode 202. We're downtown St. Joseph, Michigan. August 3rd, 2026. Guys, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. I am James Gill, your host. This is Joe Hill, the co-host. Can't have him without his wine. Jeez. Tonight, we have a special guest on tonight, guys. Her name is Adrienne White. She's the co-owner of the Collective in St. Joseph, Michigan. Guys, let's welcome her to the show. Oh, I hit the wrong button again. That's what I was looking for. Oh, man. The trials and tribulations of the host. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Joe, you want to push the buttons? We're going to do an opposite day. I'm going to sit over there and pour wine and look at you.
No, that's all right.
All right.
No, I was told not to touch any buttons.
Well, I got a button for you over here with your name on it.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, a couple of buttons.
So
let's get into it.
No, actually, first, we didn't plan this.
No. Oh, yes. The shirts.
We didn't plan
the
this.
shirts were not planned.
Was not planned.
I walked in and I was like, I'm going home. I do not want to be here today.
Then we said, oh, screw it. We'll live with it and say, hey, Scott, where's yours?
Yeah, Scott was the only one that doesn't have a shirt like this. So I feel better now. Sorry.
That'd be really weird if you walked in with a shirt.
Yeah.
We didn't plan that at all.
Yeah, not at all.
That'd be really funny. I should have worn my Collective shirt. I had one of those too.
We both had one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did get one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really nice shirt. I wear that one a lot too.
Did Luke bring you that one?
Yeah, he brought us that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke is he's a fun person to talk to. He's very energetic. Put it that way. And it was nice meeting him for the first time.
And the funny thing, when I was telling her earlier, I said, yeah, we probably didn't break the bottle on his stories alone.
Yeah, we just touched the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, because it was funny because he kept on saying, all right, let's go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, you wanted to get into some deep thoughts or whatever.
Yeah,
the case may have been, but yeah, we did. Actually, we went down the rabbit hole for a little bit.
Yeah,
we had to come back up for air.
I had to come back and change the subjects.
It was fun.
I know you did.
Yes, let's get into it. But, yeah, he's a very, 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 very interesting person.
He's a character.
Yes. How'd you meet him?
We both worked at the Renaissance Athletic Club.
Oh, that's right.
We were some of the founding employees. And he was a strength trainer, and I was running their yoga program. So he was actually one of the only trainers or employees, honestly, who ever came to a yoga class.
Oh, really?
So he came to a couple of the workshops, and yeah, it was like there was a weird thing going on there where it was like the gym, and then kind of like this table right here. You know, they didn't cross that line.
Right.
So yeah, so we got to know each other, and then he did a tour in Afghanistan.
Yep.
And a couple of times I just sent an email just checking in, like, are you still alive over there, buddy?
Yeah.
And when he came back, he said that I was the only person from, the club that actually had reached out to him. So he came in to chat with me when he got back, and he was saying like, yeah, I think I could probably use some yoga after being, in Afghanistan for a year. And and so I was like trades that we formulated the idea for the collective. So
yeah, actually, if I remember correctly, that's how he said he kind of put it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the shop over there by
we were in the arts district to start. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then you moved to the Paw River.
Yeah, we're on Clock Road now.
That's that road. I couldn't think of the road.
Clock with a K.
Yep. That's all I remember is the Paw, that little river going through.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot. Yeah. We're like tucked away in there, and that building has been in the same family since 1962. It's a pretty cool architectural mid-century building, but they did just sell it. So we're kind of awaiting our fates at the moment to see what's going to happen. But yeah, we're open to it. That's the mystery of life. You just have to stay open to the what's next. And
so to get into actually how you just said that, people don't know who you are and where'd you come from and your background.
Mhm.
Tell a little bit about it.
I mean, how far back do you want me to go?
Let's go way back.
High school.
Yes. Let's start from there.
Yeah, well, I grew up in the Detroit area, so
Ah,
Scott
Scott's
loves
happy,
it. He's a
yeah.
native of Detroit himself.
Nice. Yeah, so I actually was born in Pontiac and went to the City School of Detroit when I was really young. So I was my sister and I were going to school in downtown Detroit, and actually was a super formative experience for me. First of all, I was a 4-year-old kindergartner. So my mom was like, the older one's going to school, just have the younger one go too.
Wow.
But my teacher there was, she was a French woman, and I started learning French from a really young age. And that's kind of, I'm definitely a Francophile. I've lived in France a couple different times. So like that was actually a super formative experience for me at 4 years old, to go to that school. And like it was the place, for we were there on scholarship, but you had kids from like the Four Tops, musicians, their children were
Really?
going there. Yeah. 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 Probably like my first little boyfriend might have been one of the. We would hold hands at nap time.
Aww.
So yeah, that was a cool way to start. I was a city kid in the very early days, and then it was like every few years my parents moved us a little farther out until I ended up in a rural area for high school. So I went to high school in Dryden, Michigan, which is quite a bit north of Detroit, out in the middle of kind of the sticks, So, but that was a great experience too. We had a lot of property. We got horses, which is also a formative experience for me. So yeah, it's all good. It was a great way to grow up, and my parents were very artsy. So they would take us, even though we were like, not very well to do, we can say. They were into experiences. So we would go to the symphony, and I definitely was never allowed to use improper grammar. I would be corrected immediately.
Oh, damn, I'll get hit a lot.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I mean, but it was good. They really gave us a solid foundation. And we lived in this old farmhouse, and we had no television, and we heated the house with wood, and all that stuff. So yeah, it was, I had an interesting childhood for sure.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what, a private school in Detroit, or?
Yeah, City School in Detroit is a private school, and I went to another private school in grade school, but this one was a little bit different. It was called Upland Hills Farm School. So this is where the hippie days really started to come in. It was those times. So, but we called all of our teachers by the first name. We had free hours. We could go out and explore the land, and we did theater, and it was definitely another, just I had a great education. A very interesting and unique, not just a one-sided. And then my parents, they did 1 year where they told my sister and I we were going to be homeschooled, and we did not want to do that. But we did 1 year, and then we told them, if you don't take us to sign us up for public high school, we're just going to go ourselves and do it. So, so then we finished out the education years in just a small public school. So, yeah.
Where'd you go after that? After high school?
After that, I did 3 semesters at Oakland Community College in the Detroit area. And then I, just being kind of an adventurous person, even from a young age, I decided to move to France. And so there was a girl in my high school who was an exchange student. And I just called her up and said, like, hey, I really want to move to France. I was probably 18 at that time. And I said, do you have any recommendations for me? Do you know of an exchange program or anything? And she was living in her family's 2-bedroom apartment in Nice, France. She said, you can just come and live with me.
Oh, that's great right
Damn.
there.
It was awesome. Yeah. So I stayed, for several months until I ran out of money, basically. And then I came back and I enrolled at University of Michigan, which is where I finished my education.
Scott gives you approval right there as well.
Oh, okay.
Downer.
All right.
Go Irish. Go Irish.
you know that's all a psyop to just get us all like on different teams. You
Oh,
know
yeah,
that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Keep you divided.
We're trained from a young age.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I met these women in Italy one time. We were at this. Luke was with me. We were in the spa in where were we? It was like a natural mineral spa in Italy, and we met these women. We were chatting, and they were from Ohio. And when we told them they were from Michigan, they're like, "Oh, I mean, they were joking, obviously, but we can't talk to you anymore."
Yeah.
You know, and it is. We're
Yeah.
trained to have these teams,
Yep.
you know, to divide us
And
and to
yes,
keep us
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
keep you
mhm.
divided and at each other's throats.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like you because of this team, you know, or
And a
whatever.
fine example from this guy.
Yeah.
Go Irish.
That's right. Go Bears.
No, it's fun. You know, we can have our preferences, but some people do take it very
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah. A little too.
And
A little too serious.
You know, here's the thing that I noticed. Just yesterday, I had an incident that a lady, she's a Lions fan. I'm a Bears fan,
mhm.
and she said, "Hey, I like your head." And I turned around, and it was a Bears hat. She said, "Oh," and she just went on this this I don't know, this warpath. I
Yeah.
hate this, and screw
Ooh,
your team. You stole our coach. I'm
yeah,
like, hey,
right?
it's just a game.
Yeah.
It's just a game.
I mean, I don't know. You start to go down some of those rabbit holes, and there's
Yeah.
people that suggest that stuff is also fixed. So I'm not saying it is.
I'm one of
but
those
I
guys.
just-
I think of it as entertainment.
I like to stir the
yeah.
pot.
You
Entertainment.
notice that even like when you turn your phone on, the weather app says entertainment.
I didn't never
You
notice that.
I notice that every time. I'm like, why does that say entertainment?
I never
But-
noticed that. Wow.
That's probably because the weather isn't real either.
Oh, we're going down the rabbit hole, Joe.
I'm hanging on.
Brace yourself. Put your hat on. A hard hat with the
Sorry, I'll just grab my wine.
light on the top.
I'll just
Let's
grab
get
my
it.
wine. Cheers, Scott.
Anyway, yeah. So I went to University of Michigan. I got
Yeah.
a very useful French degree. I did a study abroad. I went back to France for a study abroad, and yeah, at that time they called French degree, English degree, you know, anything that was like kind of light, you know, the arts or whatever. Those were called MRS degrees at that time. You get my meaning.
Ah,
Name a couple of things
Yeah.
that are different in Italy than in the States.
I mean the food.
Food, of course, yeah.
Of course. I would say that, well, they have a very strong component of community. So, like, people are out, you know, late at night. All the children, the families are at their
Yeah.
restaurants, you know, out in the streets and just walking. And it's very, you know, oriented like that for spending a lot of time
Yeah.
with family and friends. So, I would say those are some big
Do
things
they
that-
close the shops down at like a certain time of the day? And
You know, I'm not sure.
I
Probably
know
in the small villages, I'm guessing they probably do that. I never really noticed that. I've been to Italy several times, but just, you know, for fun visiting.
well, I've heard that I had a couple of friends that went to Spain, and they told me about how they
Yeah.
shut down the shops.
The Spanish definitely
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
That's very big part of that
Okay.
culture. Yeah, the siesta.
Yeah.
To take the siesta.
Take a break.
Take a little nap in the middle of the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a napper,
You're right.
so I think that
I like taking naps.
I don't like taking
I
naps.
took one today. It was great.
I don't take naps.
It was great.
The only time I take naps is when my body
So you take
tells
naps.
me. No, my body tells me
Yeah.
it's shutting down for some odd reason. I'm just there watching TV and
It's
all of a sudden,
telling you something. Then.
yeah,
Take
it's
a
telling
nap.
me, yeah, not telling me to take a nap. It's telling me there's something wrong with me.
You're tired.
No, my body's sore. Like actually, when I had my accident and my rib cage and all that, excuse me, I noticed I've been sleeping a lot more just because I don't want to move, so I just relax and my body gets so relaxed
Needs to
and
heal. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I just all of a sudden I wake up, it's like 3 hours later, where the fuck my day go?
Hey, your body said take time out and let your body heal.
Yeah.
Man.
I guess that's what you say.
Yep. I totally agree with that though.
But
Shuts down on you.
You can't really heal until you're in the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's the rest and digest state, which is why, you know, one of the things we do at the collective is a lot of meditation, sound, obviously yoga,
I
all
do
those things.
meditate.
But yeah, that's to get
love-
you into
yeah.
parasympathetic mode.
I
When
love
you're in
meditating.
sympathetic nervous system, you don't have enough resources.
Yeah.
It's busy. All your energy is busy, like doing other things, staying alert, making sure you don't get hit by a car as you're walking across the street. But the problem is that people now, their nervous system is beyond sympathetic. It's in fight or flight all the time.
Yeah.
So we're, in this very chaotic time, and people aren't sleeping deeply. So thus we don't get the healing.
That
I sleep deeply all the time.
not. I mean, I can catch myself doing that from time to time, but not
Mhm.
all the time. Sometimes
Mhm.
I can't sleep throughout the night at all,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it's something going on. I can
Mhm.
tell.
Yeah. One of the things that you can do that really helps is to turn, like unplug all your Wi-Fi and all of that
Oh.
stuff at night. And maybe
That's
put that little tinfoil hat on.
there you go. Is that a reason why we don't sleep? I mean, with all these electronics and things that
It's definitely
that's-
very disruptive to our frequency, and each time, that they change the frequency, like we're at 5G now, they're getting ready for 6G,
Yeah.
which is essentially the people who, like Luke, who've been in the military, say that 6G is essentially the level of like a bioweapon.
Oh, really?
And it's very damaging to our cellular tissues and structures. So it's like they compare that to sort of being in a microwave,
Yeah, yeah.
So, why are they doing that? I don't think it's for our cell phones, but
Is that it's I know we were made of vibrations and
Mhm.
energy. Vibrations. I mean, like when we say I get a bad vibe about this person,
Mhm.
we pick up that frequency they're letting
Absolutely.
off. Does that disrupt our frequency as far as us connecting with one another?
I mean, I think so. I don't have scientific evidence for that. I haven't really done the research,
Yeah.
but one of the big things for the last 6 years that Luke and I have been doing is doing sound journeys where we're playing the gongs and the crystal bowls, and really trying to get into these healing frequencies, so that people can get into a meditative state, and then that thus go into a healing
Yeah.
state. So, we can have things that disrupt the frequencies, and we can have things that put them into better harmony and balance. So certainly things like, the microwave.
Mhm.
I don't have one. The 5G,
Yeah.
certainly the 6G.
You don't
is-
have a microwave?
No.
That's not a bad thing though.
No, it's not. But
It was at one point I didn't have a microwave, but my apartment has it
Mhm.
in there. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so much, that like if you look at this is a pretty easy Google search on some of this stuff, like the microwave stuff. A lot of people know about it now. I mean, it really what it does to your food is just like kills everything that
oh yeah,
is beneficial in there. Even water, it will change like the structure
really?
of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I try to, hey, we have a lot of things that are out of our control,
Yeah.
This is the thing, like that smoke that was like
Yes,
blanketing us for
yes,
days,
yes.
and you could smell the straight poison in the air. We don't have control over that, but things that we do have control over, I'm interested in hacking that, and
Right.
so no microwave, really good quality water, the things that we can.
Now, when did you exactly get into things that you're doing now? When
Yeah.
did it start?
Yeah, so I started practicing yoga when I was about 17. So at that time it was more like exercise, it was just another thing that we can do to exercise. So but it was part of my life for a long time, and I would say in my 20s I was starting to recognize like there's something a little different about this, this yoga as opposed to exercise. And it's kind of funny, like the thing that actually like was the light switch going off was I realized like, oh, well, if I do yoga and breathing before I go out, dancing with my friends, I'm going to have a lot more energy, and I don't need to drink alcohol, and I
Yeah.
don't, I can just go and have fun, and I feel great all night, and I have a lot of energy to do the things. And I was kind of like, oh, I mean, I wasn't really getting the whole picture yet, but the idea was forming that like, oh, this yoga is just to help make your life better and to make your life easier to live. So that was kind of an aha moment for me. But I started really getting into the deeper study in my late 20s and early 30s, and did all my trainings and everything. And then, been teaching for quite a while now. When I first moved to the area, I was teaching in my basement, which was great. My
Yeah.
kids were really little, and doing one class at South Shore Racket Club. So that was kind of how I got my start in the area. And there wasn't really a yoga studio at that time here.
Not really.
Yeah.
If they did any yoga, it was probably always on the beach or something fun like goat, dog.
I don't even know if they were
Cat.
doing that yet at that time. That was like, I mean, I moved here 18 years ago. So
Oh yeah, then no.
yeah. So like at South Shore too, it was on the racquetball court. They didn't even have a
Oh,
yoga
really?
room. Now they do, but
Okay.
obviously it's a much bigger
Yeah.
situation here now. But yeah, so that was really woven into my life, just as like an everyday kind of a practice that I was involved in, but just as a practitioner. And then as I started going into the deeper study, I was like, this is a philosophical system that I would like to use as a guide for my life. So then it became a lot more meaningful at that point.
So, what did you go to college for?
I got a French degree.
French. What's that mean, though?
What do you mean? What does it mean?
What is a French degree?
Remember, I told you they called it the MRS degree.
Yeah.
You go to meet your husband in college, is basically the joke, if you're getting a degree like that. I just was interested in the language and I really wanted to go and live there and, all of that stuff. I had no idea what I was going to do with it. And sure enough, when I graduated, I could not find a job.
Yeah.
So how did you get into health, yoga, meditating? How'd you get into that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was kind of just a natural progression through my 20s. So after college, I moved to Los Angeles, which, obviously is the mecca of health and wellness. So I was learning, I was practicing there, learning more about different styles of yoga. I actually was working as a flight attendant at that time. So that you had to have a second language in order to get hired to be a flight attendant. So my French degree came in very handy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my big job with my University of Michigan degree. But I did that for a few years and it was fun. I traveled all over the world and, I just had, all of these, I just look at all of these experiences as like, if they're formative into your worldview and how you see other people and, your understanding of the world. And yoga is really about having a very wide perspective and being able to also see things that maybe other people don't see. So that we call that mindfulness or awareness, right?
Yeah.
So as you, experience more worldviews and you experience different cultures, that naturally starts to happen. So it was all very congruent, it was like just happening very naturally. But certainly like as I progressed in my practices, like sometimes the synchronicities and the things that happen, it gets a little freaky sometimes because you just start to see more, it's like really broadening all of what you're taking in because you're using all of your senses as opposed to just, taking information in through your eyes. Like your point, you're feeling something.
Yeah.
Most people just brush that off, right? But for me, I very much, look and for that frequency
to be
exchange.
in tune with yourself
Yeah.
and let nature take its course.
Yeah, and just
so to speak.
you feel the energy from other things. And it's just even today I had just a couple of really strange, synchronicities happen. And when I first started hanging out with Luke, like we would go and do some stuff and I'd be like, oh, turn over here. There's this park I went to one time. I think it's on this street. And then we go there and then we meet some people that I haven't seen in like 10 years, and we're talking and he's like, how do you do that? Like, I don't know. I just follow my energy. Like if I have an idea, like I should turn here, I just listen.
Well, I had the same thing today. I went to breakfast at I forget what was that place? Dino's. I was trying to get you to help me out with the name. I was trying to give you some points.
Area? You didn't give
No.
me
I was thinking of breakfast places in St. Joe.
I know, but you didn't have it.
Anyway. I just had to let's go to breakfast today by myself, and I took a book, and for some reason I looked up and it's an old friend that I haven't seen in years, Eric Herman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw him today, and I'm like,
Oh.
I haven't seen this guy in years. He's in
Yeah.
Grand Rapids, and he's telling me all this
Mhm.
stuff. And why did you guys have me on the podcast yet? I said, well, I guess we could have called you by this time. We both have your number, and it was strange. I mean, I
Yeah.
never thought I would see this guy in
Yeah.
St. Joe,
Yeah.
Glad
and
you're
he just.
still alive.
And then I look up, my uncle's in the same place too.
Yeah.
It's just,
But
it's just weird.
this is all it is. It's
yeah.
just like, you just listen to the inner voice,
Yeah.
basically. It sounds really hippie, but it's really not. It's like just tuning into, we know that you hear a sound, and long after our ears stop hearing it, first the dogs are still hearing it, of
Yeah.
course, because they're more sensitive, but that's still going for way longer than what we can hear. There's a lot of stuff in the air around here that we can't see with our eyes, but it's here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all of those radio frequencies and the 5G, all of those frequencies are in the air around us right now, even though we can't see it.
Can't see it. Yeah.
So you're just tuning more and more into like that feeling.
I was supposed to ask before I forget. Scott wants to know, how do you feel about AI?
Oh, not a fan, unsurprisingly.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's driving a lot of negative things in our society. And, I'm not anti-technology or anything, but I do think if we could pretty much talk on any subject, and I think that if we go back to like older, more authentic practices, most people are going to agree that that was better. There was more connection, there was more authenticity, was higher quality. So, all of those things are in the name of technology or modernization or innovation or other words that get thrown around. What does that mean? So, a lot of times when companies are innovating, it means they're cutting costs. They're getting innovative to give more money to their shareholders. So I use the example of it's kind of silly, but I use the example of pound cake. You know what pound cake is?
Yeah.
It's like, the thing is like a pound of butter, not a pound of sugar, obviously, but
Right.
it's a lot of butter,
Scumdiddlyumptious.
a lot of sugar, and flour is
Yeah.
basically the entire recipe, right?
Right.
So you go into a grocery store now and grab like that Sara Lee pound cake, and what's in there? It's like seed oils, artificial
kinds of-
flavors, all kinds of nasty stuff.
Stuff that you can't even pronounce. Don't even know
Exactly.
what it is. Or
I mean, I don't think that's innovative.
right.
I think that's trash.
Right. Right.
So, that's I think that we've gotten in this modernization really far away from there's the microwave too. Like, oh, it's great. You just throw your stuff in there and it's, ready just like that. But is it really better? Is it really
Right.
good for you?
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. We'll all have to wait and see what happens with the AI, but it's already driving a lot of negative stuff with the data centers and
And they're popping up everywhere these days.
These days they're popping up everywhere. And the worst part is that the people who live in the areas don't have a say. You take Saline for example.
Mhm.
So that was voted down twice.
Yeah.
In Saline. And then whoever it is, I can't remember which billionaire it is, sued them and said that you basically have to do it.
So, sued them for saying no.
Sued the township board for not allowing them to innovate.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's still being fought, but it is already, under construction. But the residents are still trying to fight back. It's like we should have a say in what happens in our community. And if it's voted down by the people, by the representatives, it's just not cool in my book that, that they can still sue. They've got a lot of money, and basically the board just folded because they said we don't have the lawyers or the money to fight this.
They know they can win.
Yes.
Just because they have the resources to do so.
Right.
And take on a town that doesn't have that kind of resources coming in, they can dominate any situation they want to.
Well, and now what's the latest is coming up is that they've applied for a permit now to beyond the scope of what they had already said they were going to do. They have a permit application to allow more whatever the toxic water is that they want to be able to dump that now into the river there. So they've got a permit in place, which they'll probably get because they have a lot of money to grease the pockets.
There was not an article, but a video from Memphis, Tennessee, I think it was. They put in one of those plants up, and they're getting a lot of negative feedback with the pollution in the air,
Oh yeah.
the water,
The sound.
and the sound of it. Yeah.
The sound is
And
really
a lot of
toxic.
people are getting sick because
Yeah.
of this plant that's being put up,
Yeah.
and nobody really is saying anything about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, the ones that have been functional for a while, there are cancer clusters. There's, the people with the sound by the noise that it creates, the heat that it creates, the water that it's using is like literally emptying aquifers. One of them got busted near Atlanta. They had been taking like an extra, I think it was like 1,000,000 gallons a day or
Oh, really?
something. They were like siphoning it off and they weren't paying for it.
Yeah.
But also like that, they were already, through the proper channels getting a ton of this water. So people were like, why do I have no water? Why is it we have no water pressure? Why
Yeah.
is like the water quality? And somehow they got found out, and they got fined. They don't care.
They don't, because they have the resources to pay.
Yeah.
And not only that, if somebody, actually goes after them, they probably won't win.
Yeah, probably.
Probably won't win because
Well,
that's
the
how
people
powerful those
are-
companies are.
That is true, but there are people who are rallying. We still do have power to
Mhm.
create change. I mean, it doesn't feel like it all the time, but there are people who are winning, some of these battles. So I think it's important to stay informed, to stay in the fight, and to hold our politicians accountable
Yeah.
because it's on both sides. I there's another team situation.
Right. Yeah.
And both parties are very pro data center and all the things, but I do think AI could have a lot of potential to do a lot of wonderful things, but unfortunately I don't think that's what it's being used
Right.
for. So
It's a big club and we're not in it.
exactly.
We're not
Exactly
in it.
right. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now let's go back to France. What were some of the things that you took from France that you incorporate in your life right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the simple things,
Yeah.
especially around food. And, one of the things that, we in yoga, we talk about having a dharma or like a life's purpose.
Mhm.
And it's not something as specific as you would think. It's not like I teach yoga and that's my life's purpose. It's something that really defines everything that you do. And I think I learned a lot of that, from the European way and the French way when it comes to taking the time and the care to like prepare your food. Like they go and when they go to shop, they'll go to the cheese shop and then they'll go to the meat shop
Yeah.
and then they go to get their pastries over here. And then there's a different shop to go to get the bread, So they're going to these little individual places, buying high quality and all of that stuff. And that, for me, it's, one of my deep purposes in life is to connect with other people through these experiences, like how you make somebody a cup of tea,
Yeah.
how you converse with a friend, because what's everyone doing these days?
On the phone,
You know?
scrolling,
Yeah,
swiping,
exactly.
things of that nature.
And
Yeah.
it's like where is the giving somebody your attention is like one of the greatest gifts, right, that you can give. And also because it's becoming more rare. So I would say that, those are some things that I took away from that country that it's similar to Italy, it's very community based. But I also learned a little snobbery from the French. They're very,
Okay, that makes sense.
I love the French. I love France, but yeah, there's definitely, very proud of their Frenchness.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it was a great experience. And again, like just that opportunity to be living and away from home when you're young, far and kind of being on your own. Telling my kids lately, like, yeah, toughen up a little bit.
Yeah.
Get a little scrappy.
So were you nervous? And you probably were nervous, but how nervous were you when you first moved there? Just to a whole new country.
Yeah.
On a different continent.
Yeah. I mean, when I went there at 18, I was very nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to remember, maybe been on a plane once from Chicago to Detroit, like what is that, like a 20-minute flight or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
I really hadn't been anywhere. So that was pretty overwhelming. I had to change, not only did I have to change planes, but I had to change airports in Paris.
Oh,
So I had to
really?
like find the bus and like, but that's the thing that I'm talking about. It's like it develops that like scrappy, thing. Like you have to be able to figure things out,
Yeah.
And years later, of course, I took my kids on a couple of European adventures, and I'm trying to remember how old they were. They were like 10 and 12, maybe somewhere around
The
there.
right age too.
Great age.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were in Athens, and my son was like obsessively, his dad had given him the whatever you need on the phone to have all the international, things. Like, so he was doing the mapping. He
Okay,
was like
yeah.
doing the mapping on his phone. And I've got like the paper tourist map from the hotel, and he was getting like, the phone's running out. The phone's running out. How are we going to find our way home?
The map.
I'm like, son, I've got it covered.
The old
He's like,
way.
do you even know how to use that thing? I'm like, well, probably not. But then I just told him, I said, you know what? If we really get in trouble, all I have to do is flag down a taxi and say, take us to this hotel.
Yeah.
We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just learning those, ways to trust yourself and to,
And to see someone that's a
Yeah.
lot. Figuring all these things are not going to work. Your phone's running out.
yeah.
How did we get here? And you had the whole idea, the plan right
Yes.
there in your
Yeah,
hand.
exactly.
Piece of paper that
Yeah.
could show you the map of where
Exactly.
you at and how to get there.
Well, also like the art of wandering. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like we don't always have to know where we're going. And that's one of my favorite ways to travel is to like leave some space just to whatever might happen to pivot, which is another, thing for me that I think is like a real art in life, the art of the pivot. It's like, are you able to, and if you're going to be a small business owner, you better get good at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you don't always have to have it all figured out. And
That's part of the adventure.
Mhm,
I mean, if
exactly.
you just to have me, because you never know what you run into.
Yeah,
It could be something great. You may find a gem, a diamond in the
exactly.
rough, just because you're lost.
Exactly. And then you wander into the place and then you have this amazing experience. So yeah, I like to have when I travel, I like to have a little structure, like a few points where I know where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And then I leave a lot of space open for adventure. So
Oh, that's great. And you say you travel a lot, and you've been on to many countries, I should say. What are some of the other countries you've been to?
Let's see. I've been to quite a few South American countries. Most of it was in my flying. I worked for a private charter airline first 4.5 years. So it was, going where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So, and then we would stay for several days a lot of
Oh,
times.
nice.
So we got to, we really got to sort of experience some things, but some of the crazier places that I was in Somalia one time during the Black Hawk Down era,
Oh, really? Wow.
And we landed in the airport there. We were bringing some engineers over, to drop them off at the military. The military had control of the airport. And we landed, and like the guys got wind that there was some like American girls, on the plane, and they came over to talk to us, and everything. And then one of them left, and he came back and he said, hey, I asked my superior if I could take you guys for a ride in a Black Hawk if anyone wants to go. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
was like one of the crazier moments
Oh,
where
that's cool.
we load into this Black Hawk and we're cruising along the coastline
Yeah.
there, so yeah, so I mean I've been to a bunch of different places. I love Bali. It's one of my favorite countries. I've been there twice and I would go back in a heartbeat. Southeast Asia in general, Thailand, I love the food there. So sometimes it's like a food thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some places I go back to because of these days, probably for the last 10, 15 years, when I travel, I'm usually going to take a training of some kind. So I like to marry it with, doing something that's going to benefit my practice or my work. So a lot of the trips I end up going on have like I went in February to Costa Rica. And I was doing a training there that was called the Equine Yoga Teacher Program. So it was working with horses and creating meditations and, like having the herd there. And there's like, we have some equine therapy places here locally. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
No.
You should
I
get
know that.
someone from there to come
Yeah.
on, and like it's an interesting thing. But just the energy of horses is like crazy. They're very tuned into the human experience, and they also have these like giant hearts. So, if you didn't know already, like your heart, you can measure, the hippie stuff, like the
Mhm.
aura,
Yeah.
but that's just electromagnetic energy, and you can measure that with something based. Yogis knew before
They always say horses can look into your eyes and see if you're good soul or bad soul.
Yeah, and they certainly can tune into like what your emotion is. So it's very interesting. But
most animals can do. A lot of animals could do that.
Yeah. But there's something about the
horses
horses
are much different.
That's why some people I think get freaked out by horses.
Really?
But because they're very intuitive and they react to your energy as well. But
they feel you.
So our hearts are like 10,000 times stronger radiation of energy than any other like measurable point on our body. So if you imagine a horse that has a giant heart, like their heart energy is like huge.
Yeah.
So that's why people have very healing experiences with horses. And I had horses from 8 to 16 growing up. And they're starting to like come back into my life again. So I did that program in Costa Rica. In April, I went to an event in New York, and it was in the Hudson Valley. And I pulled up and I see, horses in the field. And I'm thinking like, oh, I wonder, what the horses are here for. So I asked, and there was a woman there who was doing healing energy work sessions with horses. And I thought, well, I really want to see what this is all about. And I have a healthy level of skepticism when it comes to any of this kind of stuff, because there's a lot of charlatans in the energy field. Always go in with like some good doubt,
Right.
or just like, I'm just going to see what the experience is. I'm open to whatever, but not this expectation, that something magical or crazy is going to happen. So I just thought, this will be a good learning experience.
Mhm.
But when I tell you that it was like one of the craziest experiences, and I've had some crazy experiences meditating in the jungle in Bali where I'm like out of body. But this thing that I did with this woman in New York, it was like astral projection, and like crazy things. And I can't even put it into words, but we'll just say the horse situation is something I'm very interested in progressing with the healing work. And Luke and I are actually going to South Africa in October to do a couples they're calling it a couples retreat, but it's this woman. She is probably the OG for doing this energy work with horses. Like people come from all over the world to do this work with her. Her name is Candace Webster. And I'm super interested to just kind of see how this goes down, and also see how Luke handles it.
That kind of reminds me of the movie Avatar. You know how they had to match their whatever the beast was. They had to join together.
It's been a long time since I've seen that,
but you have to have that compatibility and that vibration with that animal in order to ride that animal, and you link up. So it's a connection right there through vibrations, of course, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that there are a lot of animals. That's why we have a spirit animal, right? Because there's something in that energy that is, so. Yeah, I mean, I have 2 rescue dogs, and actually I'm doing a Humane Society fundraiser this week for the shelter. It's a yoga class, and there's going to be puppies.
I saw that.
Yeah. So that's on Thursday. There's a really cool place called the Boardwalk. It's like a event venue.
It's a cool place.
Very cool place.
Actually, the owner,
beautiful.
I'm trying to get the owner on.
You definitely should, because that's like a super cool place, and they're very, very nice.
It's right on the river. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. We're going to do a sound event there in October as well. So they've got this, just like all the fairy lights. They're growing like huge, probably like as big as this table. They got a bunch of boxes growing all these vegetables. They have grapes winding around everything. But anyway, we're on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. There's a yoga with puppies. So I'm not really like a yoga with animals kind of a girl, to be honest. I like my yoga a little bit like, like I don't need a lot of the sand for the beach or like the yoga with the wine or all that. I kind of like to keep it with the yoga and then go out for a glass of wine after. Go pet some puppies after. But
I never understood. I did the whole yoga wine thing because I like yoga. And I was kind of disappointed because I do love wine, but you drink wine after you do all the yoga. So it's not yoga and wine. It's just yoga.
They get the yoga done first.
Then go have a glass of wine. A lot of people thought how they were getting into that.
You drink wine while you're doing yoga?
Then you pause.
Yeah.
You do a different pose, drink some wine, then you go back to the yoga. I went,
by the time you finish with yoga, you're nice and drunk.
Right.
See how long you keep your balance.
They call that Irish yoga. But anyway, when for a fundraiser for the animals, 100%, because I'm definitely an adopt, don't shop kind of a girl.
Yeah.
Like we have all these animals, but like my dog, I have two. The other one, he's a great dog. He's very old now. Just always been just like a great dog. But my other dog is like imprinted. She wants to be on me, behind me in my chair, wherever I am and everywhere I go. She's, even when I go to pee, she sits outside, guards the door. You know what I mean? So there's these connections we have with certain animals and, not even all in the same, we can have a breed like dogs and you might not have that, but there's going to be some animal that's going to like imprint on your soul.
Oh, definitely.
Actually, my dog if I didn't leave, if I left the door open, he'll be in the bathroom, laying down by the door, and waiting for me to get done. Then
my cat does the same thing. I'm using the restroom. He waits by the door.
Yeah.
And he wants in.
Something going on with that, but
but I don't know what it is, but he wants to be in the restroom with me.
They want their human.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that they have humans and animals, and I love to the synchronicities. Last week there was a lot of crazy stuff going on in my life, and I saw two eagles just like crossed my path. I'm just driving, one just flew right across the road in front of me. And then the second one, it was only a couple days later, I was driving, it was like coming at me, like, and, to me, there's something there, to be interested in, because animals do hold, they're symbolic for different things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think I had one encounter with a hawk. That scared the crap out of me. I was walking down the street, down over in Benton Harbor by remember I told you about that?
The story is crazy.
Yeah, I was walking and something told me to turn your head. And I looked up and that hawk was coming down at me.
Oh.
I did this barrel roll. I'm sure people saw me do this as they were driving by.
Wow.
Scared the crap out of me. I have no idea.
Then it didn't follow you?
No, that didn't follow. No, it was another bird. Birds seem to have this thing with me. I mean, when I'm walking. It was this
gotta look into that.
It was a sparrow that used to hang by the highway. I walk past this thing, it always dive bombs me every time. I'm like, geez, what did I do to you?
That's funny.
But I agree with you totally on that. It's the reason why they're doing that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I like to just look at all of the symbolism.
Yeah.
And that is actually like a legitimate part of the yoga practice. It's all to do with the third eye. That is symbolism. It's pattern recognition, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like the intelligence test, that they give you, it's all pattern recognition to determine your IQ. So, in the yoga practice, if you are not working actively on not only, there's visioning, right? But then there's also being able to visualize. So, I struggle with that for some reason. That one is tough for me to like close my eyes and to see like something so clearly. It's like, oh, it's just dark, So I've worked on that over the years, but the pattern recognition is huge because that is what leads you to aha moments. You start to recognize, you see all.
That's what that. I see exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, in any case,
do you ever sun gaze?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I found that to be relaxing when I meditate.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to be outside when I meditate. I don't like to sit
Yeah.
inside where I like to be close to the earth.
Yeah.
And sun gazers, I live right by the bluff. So
Mhm.
it's a nice big piece of lawn right there in the back,
Mhm.
and the sun's right in your face.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. And for me, it's like a big white spot, then it
Mhm,
turns
mhm,
colors,
mhm.
and changes on me. So
Yeah.
it's really relaxing to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's charging you,
Yeah.
it's charging your battery basically. I mean, we need the sun. So when people like Bill Gates say they want to block out the sun, I have a problem with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You meditate?
I told you this months back.
I didn't believe it.
Well, you didn't believe it? Yeah, I have a nice little piece back there in the back where I live. And it's like overlooking the lake,
Yeah, that's
and it's really
wonderful.
peaceful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you learn something new
See?
learn something new.
I just still don't see you meditating.
Yeah.
Because you're always somewhat stressed.
I'm stressed.
Yeah.
I'm not stressed.
I feel like you have a pretty calm.
Yeah. I
I
get
just met
stressed
you,
out.
so
Like,
I
yeah,
can't.
I don't get that stressed out like you think I do.
Well, even if you are stressed out, meditation obviously
Yeah,
helps.
yeah.
So, but yeah, the sun gazing is very interesting. I feel like I've learned over the years to pretty much have this point of view, telling you that something is bad, probably the opposite.
Yeah. So do the opposite.
Do the opposite, but
Good
of
one.
course within reason.
Right.
So, having done a little research on the sun gazing, what I do is in the morning, and it also resets your pineal gland, which is how, we do get good sleep and we do get that stuff. So in the morning before before the sun gets to 30 degrees, basically 30 seconds to a minute, you look directly into the sun. And then the same thing in the evening.
Yeah.
So to look directly into the sun in the morning and the evening is, they say it just completely will put you into the proper.
So I have a problem with the morning time. I don't get up early enough.
Yeah.
Today I got up early enough for me. It was like 8 o'clock. I got up this morning. So
Oh my God, you got
The sun's
up
pretty high
Yeah.
at that point, but
last couple of days I've been I've been up at least by 6:30, 7.
yeah. The
And
problem for me is that I have so many trees in front of my house.
Yeah.
It blocks the morning sun.
Yeah.
So I just try to peek through the leaves. I mean, we just do the best we can, but
Right, right.
I do think that it's a good practice
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh,
Bless you.
you just sneeze?
I was trying to hold it in.
Let that thing go, man.
Oh, it's gonna hurt even more.
Fuck, it was painful.
It was. My ribs are still killing me. Oh,
You okay?
No,
Shit, get
that hurts.
together over there.
no. Actually, I have a comment. Luke actually is saying, "You are a diamond." So,
He's saying something right now.
yeah, he just did. Yeah,
Oh,
he says you are a diamond.
oh,
So,
sweet.
no, oh, why he said it, but I don't know why. But I don't know if that's a different meaning.
No, that's actually a good compliment.
It is.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have a question about
What's going on, Luke?
about meditating or yoga. How'd you get really into it?
Yeah, I mean,
I
it really was like a long progression, But once I did the certification, it was like, it happened very fast. It was just like I've had that happen in my life multiple times, where it's like I set some intention. I would say be careful what you wish for, because an intention is really just kind of a wish that the heart makes. So be specific, because sometimes you say,
Yeah.
you put something out there and you're not specific enough, and suddenly you have all of this stuff happening. You're like, I did ask for that, but that wasn't exactly what I meant. So it happened very quickly for me. And just even moving here, I went from teaching, I was teaching in my home, and then I was teaching at South Shore. I met a couple, the founder of Mad Dog, and then another woman.
Oh yeah,
Were the original. This is probably some stuff that people may not know, but
Trail
they
of
Mad
Mad
the
Dog.
original founders
Yeah.
of RAC, actually, Renaissance Athletic Club. They actually came up with the name, and it was their project.
Yeah.
And then they were looking for investors. And then there was like a rearrangement of management, so to speak, and then Mary Dawn obviously went on to do her own thing very successfully. So, but those were the two women who actually brought me into Renaissance Athletic Club. they asked me to design the yoga space, and they really wanted it to be like an actual yoga studio feel to it, not just some like little room off on the side. So yeah, I was
Some lower
involved,
room.
right? No, I mean that's what most of the places are. You're like on the racquetball corridor and this, at South Shore, it's great. They have a yoga room now, but it's all like glass windows and the track, goes right by
Yeah.
it. So that's in gyms, a lot of gyms, that's just normal. That's what the kind of room they have. But Renaissance wanted to do something different. And yeah, it was a great experience for me. I was there for 5 years and developing all the classes, doing the trainings for people and creating a lot of that content. And we really were like it was very unique. I mean, we had very, very high quality teachers and classes. It was real yoga, that was taking place there. And I was having like different masters come in and do
Oh, that's cool.
trainings or
Yeah.
classes and things. So yeah, it was really great. It was a very, really, really good experience for me. And obviously that's where I met Luke. And in those conversations that I mentioned, we opened the collective. And that was like, if the 5 years at Renaissance really got me, was like a very foundational situation. I mean, it was like a bonfire opening the collective because it just was like I was just so in the moment of like, first thing we're going to do aerial yoga. It was the very first thing we did. I got somebody to come and train several people to do aerial yoga. And it's a foundational part of our studio. So people love it. And it's not that common.
Cool.
So it's cool. It's
That'd be
super
kinda
fun.
cool.
It's really, really fun. And people will say like, well, that's not yoga. I'm like, because yoga is about breathing, being mindful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's honestly too about having fun. Like joy is a huge part of the yoga practice. So I won't go into too much yoga philosophy because it might
Now,
be a
is
little
that
boring,
the Eastern philosophy of yoga,
Yeah,
or
yes,
I mean, I noticed the difference between the Western our yoga
of course.
compared to the ancient terms
Yeah.
of it.
So, I mean, most of the yoga here is based off of the classical yoga from India. And primarily, we have the 8 limbs of yoga. So it's not just the physical postures,
Mhm.
which a lot of people think that's what yoga is. But before we even get to, so they call them the 8 limbs of yoga. So if you think of the yoga tree, these are the branches.
Yeah.
So the first 2 branches are like the tenets of how to behave as a human being. So you have how do you behave with others, and then how you're interacting with your own self,
Okay.
and like integrity and stuff like that. So those are the first 2. They're the philosophical tenets. Then you get to the yoga postures is number 3, the breathing exercises number 4, and the last 4 are all going into stages of meditation. So half of the tree is dedicated to meditation. Meditation is yoga.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I always thought it's not the same once I say it, but I always thought Tai Chi is somewhat in yoga because you're doing the same moves,
Yeah.
you're holding that pose,
Mhm.
and then you move into something else.
Yeah.
But you're all in sync, like how you should be.
Yeah. So Tai Chi is a meditation practice. It's a moving meditation, a mindfulness practice. So where people get like confused is that yoga is a philosophical system. Tai Chi is a different philosophical system. There's all these different systems, paths that you can take to work through the similar types of mindfulness, meditation, but yoga is its own thing and it's not a religion.
No.
I say that again, it's not a religion. So whatever religion you are, you can come to yoga. It's not to indoctrinate you. It's just simply to make you the most whole, powerful, healed person that you can be. And when you are that kind of person, right, then you naturally are more, lovely to be around. Because people think that, yoga is like teaches you how to be nice to other people, or that you're selfless, or that but that's really not what it is. It's a self-empowerment program. But self-empowerment in connection to the divine, and that you are really living in your own highest good. And when you are living in your own highest good, you are going to be a lot more kind, a lot more loving, a lot more open to different cultures, to different, ideas and all of that stuff. So
All right.
That's what yoga is.
Guys, we're going to hit it at the top of the hour. All right, guys, we're at the top of the hour. It's Third Eye Truth Theorem Podcast, episode 202. We have Adrienne White with us today, the co-owner of the collective. Guys, if you're watching us on any of our platforms, please like, subscribe, share, because it helps the algorithm with all our platforms and it keeps us relevant in the internet world. Guys, we are here every Monday, Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Third Eye Truth Theorem Podcast. You can join us on any episode on any of our podcast platforms. And like I said, please share those videos and like them. That helps us out a lot. Let's get back to the show, folks. All right.
So my question is, with places you would love to meditate, where would the one place that I know the one place I would love to meditate, but what's the one place, any country, anywhere that you would love to just break
That's
down
a
and
tough
meditate?
I mean, I would say my favorite place to meditate would definitely be Bali. It's just there's just something like so magical about that country. You know, it's it's a Hindu. Um, they practice. I'm sorry, Buddhist. They practice even though most of the rest of Indonesia is. All of a sudden, I can't think of the religion. I think I'm getting tired. It's past my bedtime. But in any case, they really have this. They really believe in karma is the point. And so the people they're living in this way of like every action that I take is, and we're all doing it. They're just living it, you know, but karma as a whole, we could talk about that for 2 hours, just that topic alone. But people have a lot of misunderstanding about karma. But the people are just so lovely there. There's something just very spiritual, very and healing. I had a big energy rising experience there on a small island where I was meditating, you know, in the jungle for long periods of time. And that, you know, was like very, it definitely took me to the next level in my practice and, you know, opened my mind and my eyes to a lot of new and interesting things. So I would have to go with Bali.
Okay.
What about you?
I haven't thought about it. I was waiting for your answer.
Mine?
Come on, mine.
Well, mine, I've always wanted to go to and visit the Shaolin monks and go to their temple and just
That's not that easy.
meditate, pray, and everything there. I've always wanted to visit. Or even go to Budapest and visit them there. I mean, just feeling the atmosphere and feeling what they have and what they believe in and just sitting there. Because when I went to Hawaii, yes, it's in the middle of a graveyard, but I went to the temple and I went to Buddha and just sat there and just meditated on my own. And they did have some monks there that I don't think they were really monks, but they were there and they felt that my aura was low and I was just there to relieve and get my body back up to being happy. Because actually that was the weekend I was in the most beautiful country in the United States and my dog passed away and I wasn't even in the States to see my dog. It was video streamed. So I had to go somewhere and I knew this place that was there. And I just sat there for about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2, just meditating. So
yeah, the spontaneous meditation is like amazing, you know, and when it's effortless, you know, and you're just there.
Then I got on a surfboard. Then I got on a surfboard and surf. But
I mean, surfing is another form of meditation. You know, anything can be a meditation.
Balance, coordination.
Well, it's the paying attention, right? It's like what meditation is according to yoga. So I would say like everything I say is according to yoga because it's my life philosophy, and I like to tell my students, this is not according to Adri. This is according to yoga. I'm not, just making up my own stuff. According to yoga, meditation, one, surfing. Your attention has to be focused
on that
on
board.
that task.
Yeah.
So I think that we can get mistaken. Like, have you ever seen that like little meme where they're like, come on, inner peace, I don't have all day, because it's hard to sit there
Yeah.
and try to have one pointed focus on the meditation cushion. So one of the styles of yoga that I really love is Kundalini yoga.
Really?
And part of the reason why is because the meditations are like chanting, mudra. Sometimes there's movement involved that, and it just makes it like more enjoyable. It's a very specific intention for the meditation. So like if you're like, I need some more prosperity in my life, there's a prosperity meditation. You can chant that and do the mudra for 40 days. And Luke and I have done some of these like 40-day meditations, and it's crazy sometimes. Like the stuff that we love, the miracle mantra, like when we need something, a miracle in our life, we will just start that mantra. And I swear it's like within a few days, it's just,
wow.
Yeah, because it's all aligning yourself to that frequency of what it is that
breathing air into that idea.
Yes, exactly. We're just aligning with that energetic, thing. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. Surf away, it's a great meditation.
I think my place would be anywhere along the Ivory Coast. The Ivory Coast, on any beach along those countries. That would be, because my ancestors were from that area, and just to reconnect with that whole idea of being in that spot would be, I don't know, it would have probably changed my life in a way, just to reconnect.
Yeah.
Something about a beach, meditation on a beach with the waves, the sounds, all the stuff that you hear around you, but eventually have to tune that out in order to focus. So, but that would probably be my
That's amazing.
my spot right there.
Do you ever just go to the beach after you get off work, like at 2-3 o'clock at night?
No,
in the
I'm
morning,
too tired after that.
And just
I'm ready to go home.
Go down to the beach and just listen to the waves.
I go to the bluff.
Yeah.
And it's pitch black out there by that time. So, and just to listen to the waves, hear the sounds. That is it.
You do that though?
Every now and then.
Okay.
That's soothing.
Yeah.
It's very soothing.
Well, I mean, I do walking meditation on the beach pretty much every day from probably like March to late November.
Yeah.
We've got the perfect place to do it.
Yeah.
It's great. You just go. So that's the thing is like, if you are just there and you're you're putting your feet down and the sounds are around you and you're just focusing on your breath and the water. I mean, it's another great meditation. And we have such an awesome place to do that here. So yeah, but I do think both of you should plan this trip.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
Yes, I agree. I totally agree.
Go do
That
it.
that would be the most eye-opening thing for me.
I think I need a passport first.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's important. That's important.
But yeah, definitely that would be mean a lot to me, I think.
Yeah.
And it'll just open up a lot of things that I've thought about, just I don't know, on a daily basis. So it would definitely mean a lot. So
the time is now.
Yes.
There's no other time but right now.
I agree. I totally agree. Another question I want to bring to you: are you familiar with the chakras?
Of course, yeah.
And,
but I have to correct you.
Yeah.
It's chakra.
I said it wrong. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of people do say chakra, and I'm not really very, I don't like to be, too over the top on those kinds of things. However, that word is very powerful.
Yeah.
And like it's a very powerful energy in us. So chakra.
Chakra.
I mean, that sounds so much stronger, right? Yeah. Then the chakras. They align my chakras. No, we're working on some chakras.
I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Oh man.
That's okay. Almost everybody says it wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I have
feel
it
as
on
bad
good authorities from some very astute teachers.
Yeah.
And Luke challenged me on that a couple times. It's like, are you sure? Because everybody says chakra. So he started doing his rabbit hole, pulling up a bunch of different, Indian teachers and listen to how they're saying. And he's like, oh, you're right.
Yeah. Stand corrected.
So yes,
Yeah.
I know a lot about that.
Yeah.
It's very foundational in my work. My entire 200-hour teacher training, which is the foundational teacher training, is the whole base is the chakras. We go through it's psychology, it's human psychology, and energy. And so we go through this whole psychological cleanse, throughout the time, because I really do believe that if you're going to be standing at the front of the room and teaching people about energy and work, that you should have a handle on your own energy. So we take a lot of time to work through that. But yeah, do you have any specific questions about?
I'm fairly new into the whole idea of it, and I know you have to start from the root chakra and work your way up to the crown chakra.
Mhm.
Said it wrong again. Chakra.
You're getting it. You're getting
Okay.
that.
All right.
Doesn't
Yeah,
it
I saw
sound-
Joe
It
looking.
sounds better though,
Yeah,
right?
it does.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Man, I've been saying it for so
Oh.
long that way.
Yeah,
I
it'll take a
can see
little
Joe
time.
in the corner of my eye just looking at me. You said it wrong again. So, but
You'll get there.
I'm fairly new into it,
Yeah.
and it's really fascinating to me because it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It
It makes perfect sense. And I mean, I really use that as like a roadmap to navigate life, understanding, because what happens is when you understand the psychology of these energy centers, it depersonalizes a whole lot of stuff. Like you can recognize, okay, so in my foundational energy, which is home, money, security, family, those kinds of things, you can say like, I've got some issues with my root energy.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm all screwed up, and I can't keep my finances. You're like, no, it's true, but why might that be that I'm so challenged to keep my finances in order? Well, I've had a lot of familial trauma and I've had these things coming up, and it just depersonalizes the situation. You can look at it for what it is and say like, okay, well, that's something I can work with. I know I need to do some healing work around. There's lots of exercises you can do to work on healing those different energy centers. So I have a really good book for you.
Okay.
It's called Eastern Body, Western Mind by Anna Dea Judith. And she wrote it quite a few years ago, like maybe 20, 25 years old. I don't know exactly. So some of the language is a little bit dated in it, but it's very excellent for foundational understanding and learning of the chakras.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. I'm gonna look that up later.
You're about to do it right now.
Yeah, I was about to do it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've read that personally, because every time it is the foundational book for my teacher training, and so every time that I do a training, which I just finished my 11th teacher training last month, so glad that's done for the summer.
Now, is that something you have to do regularly?
So
to keep yourself updated?
You do have, I mean, you should, just like anything, keep up on stuff. So there's a hierarchy of how it all works, for like the United States and everything. But essentially you have the 200 hours, which is foundational. You're just learning the basics, it's kind of the stepping stone. And then you can do another 300 hours, which would be an advanced training.
Okay.
I probably have 3,000 hours worth of training.
Wow.
I mean, I'm like, why would I not want to keep learning about this craft that I am so passionate about? So yeah, I mean, I'm just constantly learning, but every time I do the teacher training, I reread that book. I actually am just finishing the 7th chakra because I did not have time to read the whole thing. It was very busy, with the graduation. So I'm finishing up, even though I've read it, 10 other times. It's like there's always something new to learn. It's a fascinating
something you
read.
Thought you had, but you just find something new into it.
Something new and something because I'm not the same as I was the last time that I read it. So really excellent book for understanding, as particularly the psychology piece, which is fascinating. So.
Eastern Body, Western Mind.
Yeah, check it out.
Will do. You all right there, Joe?
Yeah.
You're awful quiet over there.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed that you're doing most of the talking this show.
Well, go ahead. Your turn now.
Even Scott
I got to conjure up some questions.
Scott was shocked that this is the most you've talked on any show.
No, it depends
No,
on
yeah.
what topic we're
I
talking
know, and
about.
you're very
Yeah.
intrigued on this.
Yeah, I get very intrigued
Well,
when
it
it comes
sounds
to this.
like
He
you're
does.
opening, up into this sort of path
Yeah.
and ideas, and when you start to when it starts to happen, it's
Yeah.
like you are very curious and interested, and yeah, I like to keep a beginner's mind, so I still completely consider myself a beginner when it comes to all of this, and you need I don't know how many lifetimes you would need to learn it all.
Oh yeah, definitely. Can't learn it
So,
all at once. I mean,
no.
I find myself, just when I'm at home and I go to this or just thinking and things all. Oh, that's what that meant. I heard something that I heard before, and I can just like decipher the whole thing
Mhm.
without.
We call that a download.
I'm like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
that's what they mean, or oh, why didn't I think of that in the first place? But
Yeah.
it's I don't know, it just feels different when you kind of figure things out
Mhm.
or
For
things come
sure.
to you,
Yes.
not automatically, but just
Yeah.
when you think about a word or something like that, and what it means or whatever,
Mhm.
and it just automatically you know
Mhm.
what it is. It's
Yeah.
like wow,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of getting the mind to still a bit more, because most of us are just like, and I'm like this too, I mean, I'm not immune to stress and all of the challenges of life, so we're running around like the mind is
yeah,
constantly going. And when we allow for that stillness, that's when we have the opportunity to have that download. And one of the reasons why I love Kundalini yoga, I mean, I teach it, but I have another wonderful teacher that I collaborate with. We just started a new series on Sunday mornings at the Collective. We're kind of doing every other week. Ann Campbell, whenever I take her class, I always have some download in her Kundalini class, like some aha moment, or I make a connection on something, or I have an idea
mhm,
for something, like the spark of an idea. So, it's great. So you can have that happen in a practice or just in your living room,
yeah,
just taking a moment to be quiet and contemplative and all of that stuff. So yeah, we don't have to have special circumstances.
right,
And guess what? Anyone and everyone has the same opportunity. Anyone can do these practices, and everyone has the opportunity to be the best. We call it the highest version of self. There's no hierarchy in that. It's like equal opportunity situation. So I love that about the practice.
Joe.
But
You got any questions?
yeah, I can always have
Go ahead.
questions. So
I don't want to take over the show.
why it's your show. So my thing is actually, let's see if you kind of believe or not believe in kind of. Do you really think people have powers as like a sixth sense or type of the atmosphere where they're in almost like an empath to a point where you feel other
Yeah.
people's feelings, but they can go beyond that and turn it on and off to a point where you feel the people's pain, you feel their sorrow and everything else, but
Mhm.
turn it off immediately. But then move on from that and understand people when you can read somebody perfectly well
Mhm.
and everything out there, and you're just reading their body language. But
That's a really big question.
yeah,
That was a lot.
That's a big question. So let me take it one step at a time. Do I believe that we have a sixth sense? I think that
Yeah.
was the first part. So absolutely. I mean, we already know that we're only using a very small portion of our brains.
Yep.
So when you're doing things that are, how do you get new neural pathways in your brain? Well, it's by doing things that are outside of the scope of your normal activity, and also the normal thoughts. So we get, programmed. And that's one of the things that's about this book. It teaches us about how we're programmed as in these very potent times when our energy is forming. And it's not to say like anything negative about parents or, whatever. It's just everyone's doing the best they can do for the most part, right? But you're getting your energy given to you as a child when you have no power and no control over your circumstances. So we're developing these things. So we have the opportunity to work with these energies, and we yoga says that you may be given your energy as a child, but as an adult, you have the opportunity, and some might say the responsibility, to then decide and for yourself, like what is my worldview? What is, I didn't make these choices. Where did this come from? So every time that you're learning something new, if you take a turn and go a different way to work, if you brush your teeth with the other hand,
Yeah.
any of those things,
Right.
that you are starting to fire new neural pathways in your brain. And so keep doing like new things. Take the trip, go experience those things. Because what you're doing is lighting up new brain material. So yes, I believe that if we continue to work with particularly intuition, it's sixth chakra, which is why they call it the sixth sense. That you absolutely, I mean, I have it probably more than I want to sometimes, where I'm like, oh, I have this feeling, about something. And I may not know all the details, but I've learned to trust that's the gut too, is like, right? We trust our
Is that the
gut.
second brain?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like there's almost as many neurons in
Mhm.
there as, and
You're using the left side and the right side of your brain together.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole premise of yoga. That's the yin and the yang.
Mhm.
And, that you have these two sides. And by the way, there's two energy channels that, begin here and they go down through the body. And where do you think they cross when they go down through the body?
Through the stomach.
The chakras.
All
Yeah.
through the
So as they
All three
go,
of them.
they're crossing, they uncross, they cross, and they cross at the chakras, which are those powerful points. But the whole practice of yoga is that two become one. And those two channels meet. They go up through the center of your spine, and that's when you have the experience.
Do you ever feel it?
The 32
oneness.
vertebrae,
Mm-hmm.
and the highest one's the 33rd.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that linked with a lot of different things like
Yeah.
the Freemasons?
Well, they like to use the yoga.
They use it.
Yeah.
It's not part of it.
Because why do they use it? Because it's very
Powerful.
energy.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I've had a Kundalini rising experience. It's very intense, like in the moment, but yeah, it's it's just a everybody has it. Again, it's not like a magic.
You feel the inner peace. You feel
Sometimes, but yoga is not always peaceful.
Oh,
you
no.
know, sometimes it's like
stressful too.
it's when that energy goes up your spine, it's like a rocket fuel. It's like a
Mhm.
rocket
Yeah.
blasting, a rocket to the moon. So how are you going to use that energy is the thing. Now for me, it was like all put into creating these programs, these teacher trainings. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, who did all that? Because I was just like in the zone, I was in the flow and just I was creating programs, trainings, all of these things. And it happened again when Luke and I moved into the sound journeys that we're doing now. It was like, again, be careful what you ask for, right? I was like, it was in 2020 and people weren't really coming back to do the sound journeys. We would have people come to the studio. And I just looked at him, I said, I think I'm going to have to learn how to do this. And it was like, just like that. I found the instruments, the exact instruments I wanted. Some guy who lived by my sister's house was selling his,
Oh, really?
And yeah, she picked him up for me. And then Luke and I drove, it just happened to be a full moon that night. We drove all night, met my sister in Savannah and picked up the gongs. And, now we have probably like 25 gongs. He thinks I have a problem. And he's not. He's probably not wrong. But yeah, so I mean, the sound frequency has been one of the revelations that, that for me, like I see it working with people so quickly
Mhm.
to take them to that meditative space. And people are having like incredible experiences and realizations and downloads and emotional
Kind of deja vu.
releases in these sound journeys. So it's pretty awesome.
Luke actually just also said, I'm gonna kill your nickname for you.
Adri.
Yeah, thank you. Has a scary moment of Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't always like it.
It does. You mentioned you guys are when you pick the bowls up or the things up,
Mhm.
you were riding when the full moon was going on.
Yeah.
What physical elements did the moon have when it's the
Yeah. Well, the lunar energy is the feminine energy, and then the sun is the masculine
Mhm.
energy. So we're back to the yin and the yang, you know? So it's obviously it works with the tides. So that's the water element, which is emotions, and that's very feminine, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's another thing Luke and I have
Still on the
lots
top.
of conversations
It's
about.
not very feminine. I love the water too. It's not feminine.
Well, it's not male female.
Yeah.
It's the properties of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things in yoga that they talk about, there's a guy on Instagram I really like who he, you know, there's always the battle of the sexes going on, you know, the man versus the woman, and the men want to be stoic and don't want to talk about their feelings, and the women are too emotional, and it's always, you know, the thing. But there's a guy on Instagram who he comes at it through the Vedic philosophy of yoga. I think it's really fascinating how he relates it back to, you know, all the divine masculine, divine feminine, and holding space for each other. But really what, you know, in the yogic philosophy, the masculine energy is space. It's all possibility. It's father sky, you know, however you want to call it. And that is it, that's the collective consciousness. That's literally, they say, every possibility that could ever exist is in that collective consciousness. And you just need to align yourself with that frequency, right?
Right.
And then that's like a Joe Dispenza thing, and many others. But the feminine is the manifestation. I mean, it makes sense. It's Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Like, you can have
Yeah.
all the ideas and dreams and visions up here, but if you don't ever manifest that and it doesn't ever become a creation, I mean, what's
That's a
it
good
really
point.
Yeah.
even,
That's a
you
good
know?
point.
So
Yeah.
we need to work those energies together. So the best policy, I think, is for, you know, the sexes to work those two energies together, because they do say that, you know, when you start working on your strengths together, like, you have the vision and then you have the manifestation, and that the female energy will create the most amazing vision that you can have. Like, that's her thing, is to create it. Like, give a woman, right, something to create, and she's going to be like, how can I do this? And I've got 15,000 ideas. And it's then, you know,
Right.
suddenly you have this, like, whatever it might be. So yeah, it's really fascinating stuff. But yeah, we definitely get into, you know, like the emotions, you know, and like, well, I work out my emotions through the gym. You know, I don't need to feel all that stuff. you
Right.
know,
Right.
I'd rather
like-
feel it.
Right.
You would never get over your emotions if you don't feel them.
Well, yeah, you gotta feel that stuff, you know, and then
You're
then
just covering it
process
up. You're just covering it up if you go to the gym.
Or
and just
pushing it down.
Push
You're
it-
just pushing
yeah.
it down. It's like everybody that would say they can't go through emotions. They had to, they
Everyone goes through emotions. They just
No, I
deal
meant-
with them differently.
right.
or they just push them down, like you're saying. They
Yeah.
push them down, but they're still there. If you don't work your emotions out, you're not going to be carefree. You're not going to be. You're always going to have that stress. You're always going to be thinking about it later on in your life. If you don't let it go
yeah.
and let it take your mind off of it and let it free out of your whole body, you'll never come back.
No,
to it.
that has a lot to do with the ego too.
Mhm.
And if you let the ego take over your thoughts and things of that nature. I was just reading a book today when I went to breakfast. It's called the ego is the enemy. So-
Interesting.
And it's just breaking down the idea of how the ego gets in the way of your everyday life if you let it.
Mhm.
And if you learn how to control the ego, you can do a lot more and be more a positive thing in your own life. So
Yeah.
it's a really fascinating book. So
Yeah.
I enjoy reading.
I definitely would be interested. I would probably have named it something a little bit softer,
Yeah.
because, you know, your ego is the truth of who you are.
Yeah.
That's your human experience. You know, it's like, we call it the I maker. You know, I am this, I
Mhm.
am that. We need to define ourselves in this realm. You know, if we were running around and had no definition of who we are. So, but I would, just because it's called the ego is our enemy, I bet there's a lot of like amazing
Oh, yeah,
things on
yeah.
working with it.
Yeah.
But I would say like befriending your ego, becoming more aware of, because the mind and the ego are working very closely together.
Right.
So all of these thoughts, he said this, she said that, they don't like me, da 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 da. That's all the ego mind thing that's going on. So yeah, it messes us up. But to have a strong sense of self and to understand who, how you define yourself would be considered a healthy ego. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to come about this, about that stuff. But that sounds super interesting, and I'm always like really interested in learning new ways of taking things into consideration, because not everyone learns the same way.
Right.
So yeah, but it's definitely a big thing to work with for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
With everything that you experienced, what's the one thing you regret?
I mean, really, the only regrets that I have would have to do around with some things with my children, some like decisions that I made that I feel I could have made something better for their health, or something like that. So I have a son who had a vaccine injury at 2 months old, and my intuition was, I said, don't do it. Don't do it. I like refused it, and they just kind of kept at me, and I was like, no, I just want to wait. And I just have this strong feeling that I need to wait. And then I finally gave in, and he became really ill from that. So things like that, I mean, I definitely still feel, like those feelings of like, I could have done better in that moment. I could have listened, but I don't think it's really a healthy practice to go into too much of that. I think recognizing where you made your mistakes, because like to your point, if you don't, that stays in you and is like a poison, but if you recognize like, okay, where was I in that moment? I did the best I could. And you work on transmuting those feelings and forgiving yourself, because we're only human and we do the best that we can. That is a healthier way to deal with that. So I really like the expression that they say, how does that go? It's something about like, if you're thinking in the future, it's anxiety. And if you're thinking in the past, it's like regret. I don't think that's the word that they actually use, And neither one of those things is really very beneficial to what you're working on in the present moment.
Right.
So come back to the present moment, because like that's the only place you can actually do anything about your life. It's
Exactly.
like right here. So yeah.
Very well put. That was well put. You all right, Angela? Get this weird look on your face.
I'm just thinking of how I say it differently. I say it like they do in movie, the Panda movie.
Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah. Kung Fu Panda actually said it totally different. It was like, I can't think of it now. Something about, are you okay over there?
Go ahead. Do you Kung Fu Panda theory?
It was the same thing that she was saying, but they say something about how he says it, the future is then whatever he says, but the present is a present. You're saying that like the gift is this, but the present is a present of the now. So don't even think about what's going on in the future, because
you haven't been there yet.
You haven't been there. Yeah. And you can't go back in the past because you can't change anything.
Right.
So what's the point? Just live in the now and live in the present.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, we unfortunately, it's a lot harder to do than it sounds.
Not really.
But I think that you can learn from stuff in the past.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And, a lot of people get confused in the present moment. It's like, well, if I'm never planning for the future. So it's okay to have ideas about like a goal or a place you'd like to get or an intention. But yeah, the only thing, but we worry. We're worrying. I do this. I create a whole story and scenario about something that's going to happen in the future. And then 99.9% of the time, thing never happens.
Yeah.
Luke just said that's why they call it the present moment, because it's a gift.
Yes.
There you go.
Exactly. He likes that expression.
Yeah.
He uses that a lot.
So I agree with you. You get yourself worked up about what's going, what might happen, and it never happens.
Yeah.
And we get that. That's where the anxiety comes from,
Mm-hmm.
because we're so worried about what we're working for towards the future
Yeah.
that we don't enjoy the present.
We're creating
This- yeah.
stories about the future.
Yeah.
That, and then I already have this idea, or like we think that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, people always worried about what the Joneses are doing next door, or what people are going to judge you on what you do.
Mhm.
I never felt like that all my life. I never felt like I don't care what other people think. I might care what the person I'm dating is thinking. That's one thing about me that I will admit, but I never care how I dress for the person next to me, or if I go out, what am I wearing? I'm not matching. I don't care. I don't care about anything. Well, yeah, we match. I don't
What do
care.
you mean you don't care?
I don't actually, and I don't care how my hairstyle. I don't care how I dress. I don't care anything what people think about who I am. I love the person who I am. I have great self-esteem about myself. I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. I'm just confident in who I am because my family made me confident. It doesn't matter what other people think. Just be yourself and be happy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a
But-
beautiful.
But the society, people don't look at it like that.
No, I mean, but we're a little bit at a disadvantage because people aren't as easily controlled, manipulated. They're not as easily sold products to, if they don't care about those things. We're, kids from a very young age. They're like the soda companies and the cereal companies. They say if they can get a kid, I think it's by like age 3 or 4 or something like that. If they can get them hooked into their product, they'll have a customer for life.
For life, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we don't, it's not really a level playing field for the human being. There's a lot of people who have ideas of how they'd like to, use our money and make us feel insecure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like if I just had this purse, then
Right,
I'm
right.
going to be, everyone is going to love me and think I'm an amazing person. Or if I drive this kind of car, that's marketing, and we're just, I fall victim to these things, it's like, I'm so bad about them on Instagram and I see this like amazing product because of course they target it now directly to
Exactly.
your,
Yeah.
it's like almost like they're reading your mind,
I
Well,
mean,
to see whether you buy
Yeah.
and the things
right?
that you look at.
I'm like, oh, I need
Yeah.
that potato peeler
Or-
to make those like curly things. I have to have that.
Or even you see it nonstop. Everybody out there having a Louis Vuitton something. It's just a bag. It's
And
just clothing.
it's just a name.
It's just a name.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
guy's making money off of something that he makes for $20,
It makes a big profit.
and he's making a big profit of it
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
one person that was an A-lister wore it one day,
Uh-huh.
and now he's making
Or you
millions.
see
off
it in a
Yeah.
movie, or you see
Yeah.
it on a commercial, or
Well, I would say,
A music
You don't
video.
need all that.
no, of course you don't need it.
It's just
It's not,
stuff.
definitely not about need. But I would say that, back to our premise from a long time ago, that things in the past tended to be a little bit more, maybe authentic or whatever. A lot of those products, a lot of those companies started as like handmade,
Yeah.
yes, luxury, but like because it was made, from this,
Homegrown.
yes, or like the stitching by hand, and it took, a year to make the one bag, and that's why it was expensive, and that, the artisans, like an artisan idea. But now everything's just made in China.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I like
No, you're no longer getting like, and that
High quality things.
I really am always looking for like an artisan product. Like I will spend a lot of money on something that is handmade, authentic, beautiful.
Small company that have great. Every company has a great intention going into it.
Maybe when they first
Yeah.
start.
Oh, I like that store down here in downtown, Bound for Freedom.
Yeah.
All that stuff in there is handmade,
Yeah, that's
and
a
it's
cool story.
and it's
Yeah.
made by somebody that is from another country.
Yes, I like how they have the little story, sometimes
Yep.
about
Yeah.
who's making the product, and that it brings up such a good point, which I think is so important. is that to me, going back to energy and frequency and high vibration, you should know the money that you're spending on things. What is it funding? What is at the heart of those companies? Because that's not, that's not a small private company anymore. That's a publicly owned company. What are they? What is their actual philosophical approach? Are they using sweatshops? Are they, like nothing says to me like, oh, I'm such an important person, but knowing that my bag was made by little children in a foreign country. It's like, and we have the means to get beyond this now.
Yeah.
Like, know what your money is going to. Do some research.
Right.
Look at their logo.
Yeah.
They have a lot of symbolism in the logos.
They do.
Break
They
that
do.
stuff down, and it's going to tell you a lot about the company. So, yeah, I mean, I think we can be doing a lot better as human beings and what we're spending our money on.
It's not really the money. I mean, I think money is rule all evil. It doesn't matter. I keep saying it like that. Yes. I would be the most happiest person if I didn't have any money. Like I see all these people when I was
Wouldn't be able to go and buy those $17 drinks though.
I know.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah, that's true. But I'll probably be even happier if I didn't have to pay that $17 for the drinks though. But when I saw these people in Hawaii, all these homeless people that are just walking around, living on a beautiful island in their own community on a beach, and going up to them when I was surfing and saying, hey, why? They said, look around. Where else can you say you live here happy?
Yeah, I mean, we see examples of that in a lot of countries, that are would be considered to be like lower income or in poverty and stuff like that, but they have extremely tight family group. And I think we can see that all over the place. I mean, you see a lot of wealthy people who are not happy. It's really not about that. But I think that you could be, because we do live in a society where money is the medium that we use. So it makes me happier to know that if I am purchasing something that is going to the people, that the people are getting a living wage. So I think it's important to, since we are going to spend money, you know what it's going to, and you seek that out. Who are the people who are doing the good practices, that they're not using sweatshop or underpaying, or obviously we have fair trade labeling and all that stuff. So if you want to be mindful about what you're doing, pay attention, because money is an energy too.
Yeah.
It can be.
I heard the word happiness being thrown around a lot during this interview. What is your views on the actual pursuit of happiness?
Happiness is a slippery little.
Yeah, I think because once we obtain something that we're happy about, it often flees us.
Yeah.
And then we have to find something else that makes us happy.
Yeah. So really what you're talking about, or what I think that you're asking about is non-attachment or being detached. So another idea I struggled with early in my yoga practice is like, what does it mean to be detached? That doesn't sound like a good thing. Like, I like attachment. I like, being attached to people. But detachment is really like, regardless of the circumstances, I can still choose joy. Joy and happiness, a little bit different, So we have fleeting moments of happiness, and we hope that they extend out over periods of time in our life. But there's a lot of times where we're not happy. So there's another really good book. It's very skinny, and it's a good one to like stick in your bag or just easily carry to a restaurant or whatever. And it's called No Mud, No Lotus by Thich Nhat Hanh.
So while you're writing that down, Luke just wrote, serial killers are usually happy, just living in the present moment.
It's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
It made me chuckle when I read that for the first time. It's even weirder when I say it.
It gives you a little snapshot into his brain too.
It's kind of weird when I read it out loud to myself.
When you think about it,
he's not wrong.
He's right. So no mud, no what?
No mud, no lotus. Okay. So it's referencing the fact that the beautiful lotus flower that blooms at the top, the roots are down in the muck, and then it's got to make its way up through the murky water to the light.
One time.
Yeah. So that book, one of the big things in that book is this idea that we can hold both joy or happiness and sorrow in the exact same moment if we choose to. So even when you're going through something very, very difficult, even when you're in the worst moment of life, that you're finding in this way, or you could still hear the birds singing. You could recognize that even though you're in this deep moment of sorrow, that there's also joy present in the same moment. So it's being able to hold the space. So anything that you're chasing, is going to be challenging. And many of us are chasing happiness by purchasing the Louis Vuitton bag,
yeah.
by whatever it might be. And of course, it holds no happiness in
None
that.
whatsoever.
You might enjoy it and think it's beautiful, but it's not going to give you
I was
happiness.
just gonna say you have one.
And not only that, you may enjoy the validation that you get for having that bag. Oh, that's a nice bag. Where did you get it from? And the attention that it brings
Of
with
course.
it. So
Yeah, that's ego.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of different situation, but it's like really just allowing for the happiness moments to, the more we allow for that, the more we relax, that you have a better opportunity to experience those moments of happiness. And you watch for them so that you can appreciate them. But beauty is always present, it really is like this conversation, it's like there's so much beauty in sitting down and just having a conversation like this, like intensely focusing
Yeah.
on each other and the conversation that's happening so that you can intelligently respond. That's a beautiful thing that doesn't happen on the daily. So, beauty is such an important concept to me. Like, you can choose ugliness or you can choose beauty, right? And you can choose to seek that out. So, making something beautiful, taking the time to make something beautiful, to me is a very valid practice, And so, like, even this little jar right here, like, I saw this in the store, and we use these as like drinking glasses. And we make, we used to have a cafe that was open to the public over there. So we would use the mason jars because you can put the lid on there and then you can like shake the drink up and make the matcha or whatever. But look at this one. They put these little stars on it.
I thought they were flowers.
I mean, they could be, but I think they're stars.
They are still.
Yeah. So, it's like somebody took a moment to say, like, I'm going to just do this little embellishment on there. And I was like, this made me so happy,
Yeah.
just seeing these little stars, and the same thing when I see a beautiful flower blooming. Like right now, if you go walking through Harbor Shores, which you're technically not allowed to do, so I'm not doing that. But if you do happen to, wander onto that boardwalk,
Yeah.
right now there's like a crazy array of flowers that is just like off of Clock Road, you know what I'm talking about right there? If you go on that little boardwalk through the wetlands. I mean, technically through November to March, we're not, the public is not allowed to be on there.
Wow.
So.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know either. Is it because of the golf courses open?
Yeah. That's a new sign. But I mean, honestly, like the golfers and the humans walking navigate each other very, very well. I'm not really sure why that whole thing started. The golfers, I don't know.
Different breed.
But anyway, there's just this explosion of like life happening there.
Yeah.
And so, if we don't, and you can recognize that beauty in other people, like just, it's amazing. It's like when you start to open your eyes to it. So beauty, I think, is always an option. It's always there in some form. And then being able to hold joy and sorrow in the same moment is a really good recipe to have more moments of happiness.
That's really deep.
That was beautiful.
It was.
See,
actually.
there you go.
That was really deep. It's been deep.
I love this conversation. I really do. I enjoy this
you
conversation a lot.
I know you do. I feel it all the time. This is how I feel.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to converse it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, to put words to. It's not always easy.
No.
These spiritual ideas and things to like try to find the words.
Yeah.
And I was struggling with some just heavy energy, the last couple days. And I was trying to explain to Luke like what I was feeling. I'm like, I just don't have the words to like put to it. So we have those moments too, where it's not always, somebody said to me like early on in my yoga teaching, like, you must just float around through life, just floating and happy, with joy and happiness or whatever it was. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm down here struggling with just everybody else. We're all going through our stuff.
I've had people ask me that. It said, "You're so carefree." I said, "Well, yeah, I have to be. If I stress about stuff, then I'll be like you people. I don't want to be like that."
Yeah.
People often tell me that I'm really calm under pressure.
You have a very calm energy about
And
you,
I get
for
that
sure.
a lot,
Yeah.
especially when where I work. I have to deal with different personalities on a daily basis.
Mhm.
I think it's easier for me to go that route instead of be totally angry. Don't get me wrong, I get angry sometimes with some
No,
of
of
the things that
course,
happen
yeah,
around
of
me,
course.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
and some of the people I have to deal with. But
Oh,
at the
yeah.
same time, I can handle a stressful situation
Mhm.
where it becomes easy to me to diffuse the situation or
Mhm.
have a different approach to it than
Yeah.
most people would. And I think that's, I don't know, it's satisfying for me to be that way.
Yeah.
It makes me feel at ease when I can handle a
Well,
situation like that.
being able
What?
to stay. Okay, he's something's
Oh,
going on
well,
over there.
I
I'm not sure.
I know and when he acts the way I get on about.
He's calling you out on that one.
Yeah, I get on his butt. I get on your butt about
Yeah,
things.
you do.
The way,
You do. That's why I'm picking on you.
because
Oh, no.
I look at it this way: we represent each other now that we in this
Yeah.
venture together.
Yeah.
We actually, how you said it, I say it differently. I probably messes up. I say it both ways. How you always say it. It depends who I'm talking to. A lot of people don't know that I say yin and yang because that's how most people know it.
Mm-hmm.
But how you said it,
Oh, yin and yang.
yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know it that way.
Mhm.
I
that's
picked up
true.
that right away when you
yeah.
said it.
I knew what you're talking
And saying
about.
this is wrong the whole time.
I didn't want to call him out another
that
way.
one doesn't bother me as much,
Yeah.
but there is another one,
Yes.
which is tantra and tantra.
Yep.
Two very different things.
Yeah. So I always say we're like yin and yang.
Oh yeah.
I'm
young.
Yes, I know, but
It's fine. Yeah.
yeah, that one. A lot of people don't know the other version of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
It's
a balance.
Yeah.
It is. So we
It's
balance each
definitely-
other out.
Yeah.
I'm how other people know he's the introvert. I'm the extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
He is like the one that goes home and
Contemplates.
and no
Yeah.
and pushes everything to a side and
I detach.
he detaches from
That's
everything.
from
I don't detach, but I'm the one that will say, okay, what are we doing now? All right.
What's next?
Yeah, what's next
Mhm.
on the agenda? I mean,
Mhm.
I don't have an agenda because how I live my life is it's a new day. Wherever my life takes me,
Mhm.
whatever I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't have plans. If someone says, "What are we doing Sunday?" I don't know. Let's just get in the car and go.
Well, the beautiful thing is that there's so many different kinds of people, and like I always say, people get really hung up on certain ways, like everybody should be this way or that way or whatnot, or this is the only kind of yoga that's good, or this is the only way to cook this certain food or whatever it might be. And I'm like, how boring would life be if everyone were the same? I mean, it'd be so boring.
Yeah.
So finding people that balance each other and that you're both bringing something amazing to the table, and that's why opposites attract. That's why we have that expression. I mean, Luke and I talk about that all the time. Like we are very opposite.
I can see that.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
A lot.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely want to get both of you guys on the show at the same
That would
time.
be fun. Yeah. That would
That
be
was
really
my
fun.
next goal is getting
Yeah.
both on then.
At the same time.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome to have both of you.
We're heading.
Yeah.
We have a retreat that we're doing in September, up in northern Wisconsin. We're really
Oh
excited.
yeah,
about
he was
it.
telling us about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's called Return to the Sacred.
Actually, he wanted us to go to it.
Well, I think there might be 2 spots left. If you guys want to come. But yeah, it's mid-September. And I think it'd be really fun to come on after that. You were
Yeah.
kind of saying that you're booking into like October, November.
Yeah.
Kind of share our experience.
That would be cool.
That would
That'd
be really fun.
cool,
I
yeah.
could do it October, November. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, it would be fun to share that, or maybe even after we get back from South Africa, and we can kind of have all of those like new experiences that were.
That would be great.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be
would
great.
be really fun to and share some of the adventures and things that were. Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I have to drag Luke along, kicking and screaming on some of these things. You know, he's like, do we really have to go to South Africa? And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, you get to go,
Yeah.
but you know, we talk about how Luke's first travel experiences were going to Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have the same feeling around travel that maybe, you know, the average person does. For him is to like getting on a plane and going to a foreign country, you know, he was in war.
Yeah.
So he, you know, sometimes he does have some PTSD stuff that comes up when we travel, but he's certainly like well worked into all of that, you know. He
Right.
does a lot of work on himself. But he, you know, he's kind of like when I mentioned the South African thing, I could see his eyes like shifting side to side, like thinking like, how do I get out of this one? You know, and I'm like, this is very important to me.
Yeah.
It's always good that you have a person like that, always looking around, looking to see what the next exit is going to happen. You had to have that type of person.
Oh, yeah.
I'm that type of person.
So you also have to have that
I have to
person that's
find.
going to push you to do other new things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is where he comes in.
Yeah.
Especially with me and my.
It's still hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When we, like I said, it's a balance for both of us.
Yeah.
You know. Yes, it is. It's a balance. We balance
It's
each other out.
It's hard.
Well, life is hard.
Well,
and
yeah, I mean,
it brings-
It's hard to get him out of his shell.
I'm
He's stuck in his old age.
only
I
6
mean,
years older than you. What are you talking about?
I'm not really
Shut up.
seeing that here.
Don't
So, you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
thank
You
you.
just, you know,
Thank
I've been
you.
saying you've been very,
Yeah.
very outgoing, but
Thank
also remember that we all have our own essence, you
Mhm.
know, and so battling against yourself and
Yeah.
your own essence nature that's a struggle you don't necessarily want to get into, you know. Yes, we want to challenge ourselves, and that's the great thing about Luke too, is that guy is like, I mean, he lives on the edge, you know what I mean, and he pushes me in a lot of ways to challenge myself as well. And I've learned so many interesting things, and I've changed perspective on a lot of things having known him. But I would think he would also say the same, you know, having known me.
Right.
So I think
let's
it's
see.
beautiful too, but we do have to also say like, okay, I do, you know, say this a lot, but according to yoga, because, you know, it is my life, that we are already just what we need to be. We kind of like have these cloaks over this like essence of self. You are already whole, healed, perfect. You have nothing to change. You have nothing to do. There's no magic formula. There's no like, come in, you know, to my yoga studio and I'm going to teach you the secrets. You already know it all, but we don't remember because we're so shrouded in this external experience and what we call samskaras, which are like all of these little impressions, you know, things that happen to us along the way, and they create this armor around, you know, all of this. So if you think about like a light bulb, you know, is like this essence of the human being, and then there's these lampshades that are just dulling the light.
Yeah.
And they're not things that are bad necessarily. They may be protective. You know, you maybe needed that protection at a time when things weren't safe or whatever it might be. But yeah, so it's good. You know, you have your own nature, and we can bring out the best in each other if we're open to it. But yeah, I would say, you know, go gently on yourself and like enjoy your own nature and your own nature. And then we're holding a mirror up to each other as well. So like we get that reflected back to us. Like
I do say he has changed my outlook on things, and I probably have it on him, but I do say, for knowing him for so long and getting to know him even more for the last 15 years at least, it has definitely changed.
yeah.
And I could call him a brother of mine that he will be there through the thick and thin.
That's amazing. I mean, that's the dream, right? To
We've
have
been 2
friendships like
decades,
that.
2 decades that we've known each other, but the last 15,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
that's
Got a
amazing.
better feeling of what we are as two different people. So it works out.
Yeah.
It works out.
I mean, those are just the amazing relationships, in life. It's like where you really have this profound impact on each other, and that's all. That's like incredible.
I might get on his nerve, but he gets on mine.
Yeah.
But we both equal each other out.
Yeah. Well, that's the
That's
dream.
well put, Joe. Yeah, you're right. We both get on each other's nerves,
You do.
but we figure it out at the end.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. All right, guys. On that note, we're gonna figure this out. This is last call. We're gonna be doing what we do on last call is you give shout outs to anybody that you want and anything that's up and coming in the near future for you.
All right. Let's see what I can do. Gosh, we have so many things. So we have this week in particular, we have several new teachers that have joined us at the collective. And so there's new classes that are on the schedule. I'm not going to name them all off, but just go to our website, rebelcoop.com, REBELCO-OP. It's like a food co-op, but for rebels.
Gotcha.
The Rebel Co-op. So you can just put in the collective into your search. We have an awesome floating sound bath that we're doing on Friday where we put up the aerial silk fabric and you get in your cocoon and we do a sound journey for you with all of the gongs and the crystal bowls. That's really fun. We have a really special event at the end of August 29th. It's another kind of floating sound bath, but this time in the water. We partner with the Daydreamer Domes in South Haven. And we put people on they're big floaties, so you feel like very secure. And you get to float in the pool while we play all the instruments around you. And that's on the full moon and also has a cacao ceremony with it too. So yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff. I mean, our website is, of course, just like everything. Our Instagram is a huge resource because we put everything up there.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of different types of classes from Ashtanga that's starting this week to Yin, gentle yoga. Luke's doing a warrior flow on Wednesday nights, which you guys might enjoy. Come over and try it out.
We do this on Wednesday.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
We'll have to have him figure out a different day. Then.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We can figure it out.
Figure it out. But anyway, that's I think just going to the website. But and then don't forget, if you are a puppy lover, you can come on Thursday at 10 a.m. at the boardwalk. And your $25 donation is going directly to the Humane Society. I'm not getting paid for that class. I don't want to be paid for any yoga with animals or wine.
There you go.
I'll do those for free as a fundraiser.
Yeah.
So come out to that, and that's pretty much it.
Puppies and wine.
Joe,
That would be a fun class.
you're next. Go ahead.
I know. Oh, this one was a weird one for me. I want to say thank you for coming out first, though. It was awesome to see a new experience out of this and out of James, because this is the most I think I've seen him talk on the show that he was very intrigued on. And it was actually an awesome feeling. And for you, I hope to have you both on next time when you guys get back from your big trips and everything that you'll be doing. And I'm honored to finally meet someone that understands the yoga, understands the meditation, and everything else that you do. And maybe one day we, all three of us, not just me and James. Yes,
It's got involved as well. Yes.
And to go to a yoga class.
Yeah.
Or go to a meditation class, because I'm actually intrigued in the sound one, because that is actually intriguing to me, because I've never done a sound yoga thing before, or a meditation before.
I mean, really, the intention is to put you into the brainwave state of
That's
meditation.
what
So
I'm kind of
it's a
looking
meditation. Yeah.
That would be kind of cool to go to,
Yeah,
because
for
I
sure.
meditate every morning before I go to work.
Yeah.
And for that, thank you. And you guys, you two are awesome pair, and I can't wait to have you both on, or just you, so we keep on going with this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
This has been a real joy just to sit here and talk to you about certain things that I think about on a daily basis. Thank you so much for enlightening me on some of the things I didn't know anything about, like chakra.
Yeah, right.
Say that correctly. I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
You did it that time.
It's not a problem. It's just one of my little. We
Oh,
all
that's
have
okay.
our little
That's
things.
okay. I mean, I don't
But
mind
doesn't
being
it
corrected.
roll off the tongue so much better?
Yeah,
to
it
talk
does.
through?
It does. But I'm glad you pointed that out and,
Yeah.
and corrected me on my
Your
mispronunciation.
Sanskrit?
Yes. So, but other than that, this has been a great conversation. I enjoyed it immensely. So, thank you so much for that. And not only that, just like I said, like Joe said, we want to get both of you back on together and pick your brains on
Yeah.
your recent trips and then
Yeah.
experiences together. So,
Yeah,
Thank
Luke
you so
and I
much.
together is a whole nother experience with the yin and the yang.
Yes, yes, I agree.
He's something over here.
He's self-centered.
Well, thank you guys so much. It really
No
was a
problem.
lot of fun.
All right, guys, we're gonna get ready to get out of here. This is Third Eye Truth Theorem, episode 202. But before we do that, who's on Wednesday? I already know who's on Wednesday. Go ahead, say it.
Okay, I forgot you do. On Wednesday is Sean Jellybean.
What's his last name?
I don't know. I can't.
Once again, you gotta
I
get
know.
these names, brother.
Well, everybody knows Sean. And
Yeah, we know who it is.
Jellyfish Production.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
But yeah,
And a Sunday show.
and the Sunday we have a Sunday show. I forgot
Yes.
about that. That's
Where'd it go?
yeah. Who's on Sunday?
No, where'd it go?
No one.
No, it was just. Oh, I don't have his last name. Shane.
Shane who? Let me see it.
I only have Shane.
Shane, what does he do?
I just told you.
Is that the cook? I mean, the
No, he's the
food?
He's the person that talks about.
Oh, men's health. You
Yeah,
said.
Oh yeah, okay. That'd be interesting. I love those
Yeah,
type of
I
talks
know
too.
you
So
do.
all right,
Make
guys,
sure
you gotta
Luke
hear first,
watches
but
that one.
we want to thank Adrienne White for joining us tonight from the collective. Guys, once again, we are on every Monday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Guys, please tune in. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all the videos that we put out every Monday and Wednesday. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna get out of here. We'll see you. Oh, wait, Scott, thank you, sir. I don't want to forget you at all because you do a lot of work behind the scenes that nobody sees. He's like the lotus. He's like the lotus flower.
I don't give.
He's like the lotus flower. Yeah. Thank you so much, Scott. Guys, we're getting out of here. We're out of here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you Sunday, Wednesday. All right.